everyone, this is Nitro. In this video, I want to go over the way to beat the glorious Annals of Lodoss challenge number 4, the Grey Witch Cometh. Now, before I begin, very important point I have to note, you do not bring anyone who can apply a debuff at all. You do not want any debuffs on the enemy. My video clear, which is my first clear, I brought Luna with Cursed Lance. And because of the Cursed Lance applying debuffs on Karla, increasing her stats, I ended up taking a full 18 turns, 18 out of 20 turns to clear the fight. Because Karla ended up with basically plus 35% defense and plus 35% int against me. If I did not have Cursed Lance on Luna, she would have 35% less defense, which would have made the clear much easier. So very important point to note there. Other than that, so replacement weapons for Cursed Lance are easy. As long as it doesn't apply a debuff, you're good to go. And arguably the best one may just be a Yggdrasil branch like this. Okay? Because the Yggdrasil branch will ignore enemy defense. It's not a debuff, it just ignores enemy defense. So that would help Luna do more damage. You don't want a Peacemaker. You do not want, a Last Knight, because Last Knight can debuff. The only weapons pretty much the only weapons you would want would be, let's say, a Devil's Axe, a Yggdrasil branch, or a Ragnarok. There's also the Throne Guardian, for example, but yeah, basically any weapon that does not debuff, you're good to go. If you use a weapon that debuffs, you're screwing yourself over. Okay, so with that mentioned, as for other characters I bring, for example, I'm bringing Leon as well. Leon does not have a Vampire Mask for this fight. He'll bring a Fury of Tyr. I bring Altemuller, and Altemuller, well, naturally Altemuller, who is 4 stars by the way for me, he naturally doesn't have any gear that should debuff enemies. Okay. So there you go. Alright, so I am now going to jump into the battle and talk about it before doing the actual fight. Okay, so if you want to skip the explanation, use the timestamp in the video description to jump into the fight. So let's start by talking about the spawn mechanics of this battle, because there's quite a few enemies that spawn. First, on turn 1, 4 enemies will spawn. I'll go into details about those 4 later, but basically those 4 pretty much need to be killed because they provide stat debuffs on Karla. Okay. In addition to that spawn mechanic, they also reappear on turn 8. So even though they just spawn on turn 1, the 4 of them, on turn 8, they're respawned, as you'll see in the following clip. So, this is turn 7, and it's about to be turn 8. And what happens on this turn is, at the start of turn 8, any existing enemies on these red tiles, the Dark Disciples, will disappear, and then new Dark Disciples will be spawned. I'm just quickly letting this run through. Oh, and there we go. So, the existing ones disappear, and then new ones appear. More details about them will be coming once I start the fight, but other than those characters, those 4 that spawn, on turn 5, and I think on turn 10 and 15, not sure on those later 2 spawns, but on turn 5 for sure, 5 other portals appear, and those 5 portals will spawn 5 mobs that actually can move, unlike the turn 1 and turn 8 spawns. And here's an example of them spawning. So this is now the start of turn 5, and on the start of turn 5, what happens is 4 new portals appear, and from these portals, you see that random enemies appear. Okay. The enemies are not random, but the locations they appear from are. So there's going to be a Lava Titan, a Cyclops, a Dark Elf General, a Vampire Bat, and a Hellhound. Okay. So the random positioning of these enemies can be very annoying, but if you have a high mobility party, you should be able to deal with them. So basically, you'll have to deal with those mobs while also dealing with Karla, because the ultimate goal of this fight is to defeat Karla the Grey Witch, and you have 20 turns to do so. in addition to all of that, let's go over Karla herself. So Karla's talent is kind of ridiculous for this fight. First of all, when attacked and taking damage, she restores hit points to all other friendly units, and the healing is equal to 20% of her current hit points. So you basically cannot attack her while you're going after other enemies, or else they get healed to full, given that she has 500,000 hit points. That talent also has other effects though. Secondly, each time an enemy inflicts a negative debuff on her, her attack and int is increased by 7%, and she can get up to 35% stat increase. This can't be dispelled. It ignores melee, so she can get. So that second effect is kind of like one of the Eternal Temple fights, right? Where every time she's debuffed, she gets increased stats. This can't be dispelled, and the third effect she has is she ignores melee damage penalty. So she'll do full damage in melee mode, and finally, when there are less than 2 enemies within 2 blocks of you, after taking action, she gets the Dark Goddess's Grasp buff, increasing normal attack range and skill by 1, and damage dealt is also increased by 50%. It cannot be dispelled, it ignores immunity, and it can be stacked. In other words, you have to, no matter what, leave 2 characters next to Karla, or else she's gonna get that buff and start one-shotting people. In addition to all this, she also has Dark Goddess of Chaos, which attacks a single enemy, dealing 1.5 times damage. If the enemy's defense is lower than their magic defense, 70% of int is added to attack before battle and you do physical damage. Otherwise, before battle, add 70% of your attack to your int, and you deal magic damage. So this effect is kind of like Sonya's 3C, right? Allowing her to hit very, very hard. In addition to this, she reduces enemies' mobility by 2, it lasts 2 turns, cannot be dispelled, and ignores immunity. The second effect, I mean, if you have an Overlord's badge on Landius, you're gonna ignore it. So it's just the first effect. The next skill she has is Possession, where after initiating battle, this hero's soldiers becomes the same as the enemy target's soldiers. That's actually not quite accurate. What it actually does is her class becomes equals to your hero's class that she attacks. So if she's attacking Landius, she's actually going to become cavalry class. She does not become the soldier class, which is infantry. So that description is wrong. So I found this out because I ran infantry soldiers on her and she turned into cavalry class. So on Landius, you're going to want to run phalanx soldiers, which is either Treant guards, heavy centurions, or whatever. Basically whatever soldier you have leveled up. I'll probably use my level 5 Treant guards, right? Because they have a decent stat increase overall. So, and Landius and Tiaris will always be next to Karla, pretty much, to avoid her getting her talent buff. Finally, in addition to that, let's go back to the Possession. The second effect of Possession is that it afflicts enemies with 1 stack of horror for 2 turns, and the horror effect is that can be stacked up to 2 times, upon which it stuns the target. This stun cannot be dispelled and it ignores immunity. Fortunately though, the stun only lasts 1 turn. So your character will be stunned, at the end of the turn, the character will not be stunned. So your tank can continue to do damage to Karla. Okay. So the final effect of Karla is basically Dark Reincarnation. It's pretty much an AoE attack. Target self hits 4 blocks around her. Okay. It has an increased crit chance of 50% and deals 0.35 times AoE damage to all enemies with a 4 block radius. On every enemy, it applies 1 stack of horror on them as well. So as long as she's attacking, she's going to keep applying stacks of horror, long story short. So your tank is guaranteed to be stunned, although your tank will counterattack. So as a result, the best tank against Karla is Landius, because Landius doesn't really need to activate a guard skill, and she'll still have decent attack and damage. Other than these two who will be locking down Karla, I'm going to run a high mobility party. So my 4-star Altemuller, I'm going to have Leon with Chivalry, Assault, and Legion, and I'm going to have Luna with Wind God Realm, Raging Thunder, and Move Again. Liana will round up the party, bringing Gospel, Prayer, and Act Again. So yeah, that's everything about this battle. And let's begin now. So, let's talk about the spawns first before I actually fully start the fight. The spawns on turn 1 that also get replaced once again on turn 8 there's two versions of them, and they spawn in random locations. There's the Shadow versions and the Necromancer versions, okay? The Shadow versions pretty much just have Rewind, Dark Reaper, and this Gift of Cardis, which is a passive that dispels one debuff from friendly units on the battlefield and grants them one buff, okay? Rewind and Dark Reaper, not much else needs to be said about them. So these guys though, the important thing about these guys is after they're killed, Karla's defense and magic defense is reduced by 50%. It cannot be dispelled, ignores immunity, and can be stacked up to 3 times. So you want to kill 3 of these to reduce Karla's defense and magic defense by 45%. That's the first thing. As for the other Karla servants, right, the Necromancer versions, after they're defeated, Karla's attack and int is reduced by 15% each. Okay. These Necromancers though are more annoying. They have Sleep, Black Hole, and Seal. So you really just, so it's a very annoying skill set, but Leon can easily handle it because Leon, with Chivalry, is immune to debuffs. So Sleep won't do anything to him. So that's what I'm going to do. So to start though, I'm going to have Landius move over and faction buff, right, next to Karla. And then I'm going to shift Tiaris over here and attack Blessing my Leon to start. So with the attack Blessing, Leon can now go after one of the Necromancers that I want to kill. So why don't I choose this one? So let's Chivalry up and assault it. And I'm just going to place Leon over there. Okay. So now, Luna and Altemuller want to kill off the other servants. So let's go for it. So I'm going to have Altemuller. I'm actually, for long-term sustained damage, it's probably best to actually have Luna activate Wind God Realm first. So she's just going to Wind God Realm to start before Altemuller faction buffs. And I'm just going to have her attack, not use Raging Thunder yet. Because she doesn't have a faction buff at this time. And then turn. And then Altemuller is going to come over and faction buff up now. And finally, I'm going to start shifting Liana towards Leon. And there we go. That's the first turn. So, AoE attack. And Altemuller tanks the hit from one of the shadows. Necromancer uses Sleep, but as stated, Chivalry made Leon immune. So now, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to have Liana just pray her up, everyone. But the thing is, I want to stay outside of the AoE range of the Necromancer. So I think the best spot to pray her from is here. That'll affect all my characters. So let's just do that. But first, you know what? Let's have Luna attack first, right? Do some damage to this Karla servant before she gets sealing. Alright, so there's the first action. Then prayer with Liana to heal up everyone. Then Altemuller is going to Raging Thunder the Karla servant in the south here. Right. Landius is going to Tranquility up. Or Peace of Mind up, sorry. And Tiaris has nothing to do. So she's... I mean, I can have her mass heal, but it won't matter. And then Leon is going to continue to attack this servant. Let's wrap around for the extra damage. And wrap back. So Dark Goddess of Chaos now hits Landius. And we see that Karla has turned into a cavalry class. My Landius barely survives. But he lives, so it's good. Alright. So now, if possible, I want to kill off this Karla's servant. So I'm going to have Liana come up and use Gospel on Leon to buff up his attack. Right? Because Chivalry, he had Chivalry before, so he didn't have an attack buff. So now let's have Leon wrap around like this and melee strike the Karla's servant, and then turn here. In the south, well, Tiaris is going to heal up Landius. Right? And over here, Luna finishes off the first shadow. And I'm going to move Luna towards the next one. Staying away, out of range, because these guys have 4 range. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's place Luna there. Let's place Altemuller here. And they're ready to attack the next one. Oh, interesting. Tiaris got attacked instead of Landius. Ah, I know why. Because of the Lancer class. Interesting. Huh. Huh. Okay, well. So, Karla chose to ignore Landius to choose to attack Tiaris. Very interesting. In any case, Leon is going to finish off that Karla's servant on the right side and maybe just start shifting up a little bit. Right? I am going to... It is currently turn 4, which means turn 5 the new enemies will spawn. So I'm not going to act again or anything there. Landius can currently act. So let's have Landius melee attack, right? And Tiaris is going to mass heal these two. So now on this side, Luna and Altemuller will start fighting the next Karla's servants. The shadow version, of course. So, possession, right? Attack, pushing out guards, absorb the damage. They're doing pretty well here. So now, Karla the Grey Witch spawns the 5 new portals I previously mentioned. 5 new enemies show up. And the ones you really want to kill is the Vampire Bat and the Hellhound, because they have higher mobility. So, you know what? I think I'm going to have Altemuller. I'm not even sure how strong my Altemuller is, truthfully speaking. So hopefully he can kill off things. Let's give it a shot, right? Or actually, let's have Leon do it. Since Leon has the mobility too. So let's have Leon Chivalry up and take out the Hellhounds. And back off. To there. So I don't think I can avoid this Vampire Bat at all, so someone has to kill it. So that will be Luna's job then. One, two, three, four. So let's just place her here for now, I guess. Landius is going to reactivate his faction buff. So, normally I have Liana use Act Again here, right, on Leon to kill off a second one. But this is not possible in this case, because Leon had to run all the way over there. So instead of that, what I'm going to do is, this is a slightly different adjustment, but Liana is going to move to be 2 blocks of Karla, and then that way, Tiaris can run over and choose to attack Blessing someone for an attack. So maybe I'll have Altemuller, Raging Thunder here. Against the Karla servants. And I'll probably buff Luna. So I get hit by decay, no big deal, since Liana is in the center after all. Landius continues to guard and gets stunned. Healing infused, whatever. So now Liana will have to act. Okay. So what I'm thinking is Leon to kill the Karla servant with assault. Right? And he's going to shift forward. I still can't act again. Leon. Interesting. It is what it is. Let's prayer up like this to heal up everybody. And Liana will dispel the debuff on Landius. Right? And then Tiaris can move in to healing light my Landius, who is stunned. And then Luna can run over to attack the Dark Elf General. And finally, Altemuller just gonna place himself here and faction buff back up my characters. There's still 2 of these, but it's okay. So Landius does not have healing light because of the roar. And interestingly enough, Karla used her Dark Goddess of Chaos on my Altemuller instead of my tank or whatever. Not a big deal. It didn't kill anyone, especially now that her stats have been reduced. So, we continue. And I need a way to take out Lava Titan. So let's... I think that's Luna's job. So let's... Wind God Realm here. Luna. And have her Raging Thunder. Down goes Lava Titan. And I'll place her here. I don't know which direction I need to go in to take out some more enemies. But so it'll be a little bit of a gamble right now. But it should be okay. Let's have Leon crush the Cyclops. Right. Back off. And I'm gonna start doing some damage to Karla because I can. So, guess I'll pray her up first. Right, get some healing in. Let's have Landius continue to activate Peace of Mind, be a tank. And I'll have Altemuller start weakening Karla. It's not exactly the right time yet, because I would prefer to have the third debuff, right? 3 stacks. of defense reduction before I strike Karla. But this is okay for now. And I'm just going to wait on Liana. There's no reason to have her attack. So, Dark Reincarnation, AoE hits. Altemuller got stunned. It's turn 8, so at the end of this turn, the new servants will appear. But in the meantime, I can continue to do damage to Karla. So, let's have Liana shift over. Or actually have Leon attack first. I'm actually not sure what to do here. Whatever. She can shift over and heal up my party members on that side. Then Leon can attack. And maybe end turn here, I guess. Landius can melee strike. Luna can also melee strike. Unfortunately, Luna has a cursed lance. I probably should have removed that. Because remember, the debuffs means that she's gonna get stat increases, right? So every time she gets debuffed, she gets increased stats. But in any case. And I'll attack Blessing Leon. So, Possession. Strikes Landius. On guard, tanks the hit. And new demon spawned, right? So I want to kill one more Karla servant, and then I'm going to focus purely on Karla the Grey Witch at that point. So here we go. So let's have Luna shift over and start striking the Karla servant. And same with Altemuller. Actually, before Altemuller goes, he should probably get healed. So why don't I have Tiaris mass heal here to heal up Liana as well as Altemuller. I could also have Leon kill one of these necromancers, but there's no point anymore, right? Because Karla already does not do enough damage to kill anyone. So I'm not going to go after the necromancers, it's just getting rid of one more of these. Shadows for the third debuff. Okay. So now Leon is going to chivalry up to help take down this last servant, or last shadow servant that I want to kill. And just end turn here. And I'll shift Liana over and end their turn. Landius continues to tank. And the Karla servant kills itself now. So now Karla has all the debuffs that I want her to have. Oh. And on turn 10, yes, new enemies appear. So I'm gonna have to get rid of those guys too in the meantime. So why don't I start by healing up Luna, I guess? And start crushing these guys. For example, Raging Thunder. And then 1, 2, be ready to attack Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
了解
Let's see if Altemuller has enough damage to actually kill this guy. It would be very convenient if he does. Yes! So my 4-star Altemuller did enough damage to kill off the Hellhound. And that way, Leon can now start attacking Karla the Grey Witch. And in fact, why don't I act against him?
これが私の信じる心です。
準備完了です
And then turn. Leon got attacked by Karla, but took absolutely no damage. And it's the reason for that is because
了解
Leon has high defense, meaning he's taking magic damage. But angels have 45% magic damage reduction. So Leon was perfectly okay with that.
行動スタート。
みんな
Alright,
もっと頑張れ
so
行動スタート。
what do I have to do here? Wipe out these two preferably. The Cyclops general is not a big deal.
もう私の番？ご命令を。
So why don't I start with a prey?
やっ
Let's
と
see.
か
These guys can't really get into range, although Luna can. So let's have Luna attack. Karla, anyways.
了解
I don't want her to use the Cursed Lance. It's increasing Karla's int. That's so frustrating.
始めよう
Anyways, so yeah, make sure to remove any kind of debuffing equipment. I have a Ragnarok, I have a Seal
準備完了
Guardian,
です
but I forgot to remove the Cursed Lance from Luna.
準備完了です了解
So I guess I'm going to pray her up here.
人、思考、そして
了解
And have Leon. Should I even assault? Yeah, I think I have to. It's better to be safe. I'm not sure I actually need it, but better to make sure the vampire bats die. And I'm going to have to retreat back here.
みんな
And I'm going to have to activate Tranquility, because this Cyclops will attack Luna otherwise.
もっと頑張れ俺に力を貸してくれ
Sorry, peace of mind. I keep calling it Tranquility. Alright, let's attack Blessing somebody. Probably Leon.
まだ終わらないよ。
やっとか
And Altemuller is just going to shift forward. So I'm going to get hit by DK. Everyone. And Roar is used. Actually hit Landius. Okay, good. Landius continues to tank. I put Altemuller in range. Because these guys have 4 range, remember? Oh well, it's okay. Everyone lived. But I do have DK on me.
始めよう戦いはまだ終わっていない
準備完了。
So I need to remove it. And the easiest way is
もう私の
準備完了です
let's have Leon crush these
準備完了です
elves first. Oh wow! He got debuffed so hard he couldn't kill the elves.
みんな
Whoops.
もっと頑張れみんなもっと頑張れ
Ah,
戦いは
whatever.
まだ終わっていない
Landius can finish it off then. But I just need to figure out how to remove all the debuffs on my party right now. So, you know what? Let's have Luna kill this Cyclops first. And just shift out of the way. Like so. Right? I'm going to have Tiaris mass heal now. Right? Landius is going to reactivate his faction buff. Liana can remove any remaining debuffs, but doesn't need to, I guess. So she'll just end turn to heal up Altemuller a bit. And Altemuller can Raging Thunder. Alright, so turn 12, I have a whole bunch of turns to finish, or hopefully finish her off. And here we go. So Leon, Chivalry, Assault is actually going to buff up her int again. Damn it. Whatever. Karla. And she triggered a new effect. There's also Infernal Flames on these tiles that my characters are on. Uh-oh. So I guess you have to attack and retreat like this. Wow, that's a new effect. I completely didn't know about this one. How to deal with it? Landius is going to die then, because he's stunned and immobilized. Okay, whatever. It's okay. Let's act again. Leon for a second strike. Yeah. I don't think it says that this effect exists anywhere. This about that Wrath of Cardis or whatever. Anyways, so Leon attack, survives, and retreats. Okay. Altemuller is just gonna move back and faction buff because he can't attack, I guess. Landius is going to die for sure. So, you know, whatever. And I'm going to have Luna launch a Raging Thunder Strike on Karla. And retreat, I guess. Luna got killed. Oh, okay, so the Wrath tiles change. That's fine. I actually don't mind Luna dying there. I'd rather keep Landius alive as my main tank. So, let's just end Liana's turn to provide as much healing as possible. First things first. And I guess Leon is going to attack. And retreat. Next,
みんなもっと頑張れ
Landius will end his turn here. Okay.
やっとか
Altemuller can move in and to attack. And Tiaris is probably just going to mass heal everyone or choose to heal up Landius to full, which is probably the smarter option. Alright. More summons!
準備完了です
Okay, let's start with a prayer.
これが私の信じる心です
準備完了です
And have Leon crush one of the summons then. Yeah, turn 15. More summons. Excuse me.
始めよう
Altemuller has extreme mobility due to breeze. So why don't I have him kill the bat? Excuse me.
始めよう
He activated Gale, but it just means I'm gonna go back and attack instead. Because I can't reach another summon. Alright.
もっと頑張れ
もう私の番
戦いはまだ終わっていない
So in this case, just gonna have Landius melee strike Karla. Because I'd rather not get him stunned.
もう私の
He already has one stack.
そうだ
And why don't I attack blessing my Altemuller here?
まだ終わらないよ
Alright. But they chose to attack Landius anyways.
了解
So. Leon is gonna run over Chivalry and get rid of one of the summons.
了解
And retreat.
そうだご命
I'm
令
going
を
to act again Leon to get rid of that second one.
人思考そして
準備完了です
やっとか
Altemuller is going to faction buff this turn
目障りだ
so that Leon has increased stats.
もう私の番
And Tiaris is just gonna end their turn to buff up everyone else. So Altemuller's attack this turn, which is okay. And now the burning tiles are the ones around her again. So this is not a good turn
や
for
っと
fighting.
か
But let's see. And these guys have 4 range. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So this is awkward.
戦いはまだ終わっていない油断するな
Guess I'll have Landius. Just choose to faction buff in a safe tile for now.
俺に力を貸してくれ了解
やっとか 準備完了。
ご命令を。そうだ。
And back off
やっ
with
と
everyone.
か。
Because I don't want to tank a hit from this guy. So yeah, I'm just gonna retreat. Although Leon can actually attack, because I know he can survive the burning fires. So let's just have Leon attack. You know what? If he lives, doesn't make sense not to have him attack. And we'll just retreat. Is there anyone that actually needs gospel at this point? Maybe Tiaris? I don't know. Alright. Turn 18. It's getting close.
始めよう。準備完了。
ご命令を。
了解。
I can attack blessing with... So I'm going to do that first. The only reason this got so close is because of Luna. If not for Luna's Cursed Lance, this would have been over long ago, right? Because she's getting int and defense increase. So, anyways, can't change it now, right? So we'll roll with it. Not sure I want Landius to get stunned. Well, whatever. I don't think it matters at this point, as long as my characters can get healed up. Oh, he used guard, but burned himself in the fires. Okay, so I'm going to start with Tiaris attacking the Lava Titan to kill it. And then Leon is going to melee attack, or sorry, Landius is going to melee attack. Same with Altemuller. Yes, a second strike. Go for it. And the finisher will come from Leon. Success. Got stupidly close because of the cursed lands, but the battle is done. And there we have it. And I got 2,000 hero reward points for that, so I picked up the 50 Parn shards. So, I'll be finishing up grinding this event, I guess, this week or so, after doing the 5th and final challenge, right? Flames of the Frozen Sky. So that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Nitro out.